So today we've got one of the biggest phones out there, and this is going to be one of the biggest case videos I've ever made. We're talking 15 of the best cases for the Galaxy S23 Ultra. I'll leave a link for everything covered in the video down in the description below. So let's go ahead and get started. Now this one by ESR is the classic kickstand case. This one has a metal ring that goes around the cameras on the back, and it flips out to work as a kickstand. And it looks really nice with the frosted back on there. Comes in two different colors, black and clear. Super durable there on the back. Feels like a really heavy duty hinge on here as well. Pretty simple to just snap right into this one without too much effort here. Fairly tight fit on this one as well. Feels like it's pretty flush there on the sides where the curve is. Nice lip protection on the top and bottom. So you shouldn't have to worry about this one getting scratched up when you put it face down. Now this kickstand is super firm. Looks like you can put it at pretty much any angle. You can put a landscape or vertical. I kind of like how this makes it a little bit darker green. I don't know about you, but this actually looks really nice. It does have a little extra bulge there around the cameras, but that's also going to protect the cameras a little better as well. You can see the power and volume buttons stick out plenty, so they're easy to locate. A little on the spongy side when it comes to the buttons, but they actually work really good. You've also got a nice oversized cutout for the charging port. S Pen's easy to get in and out. Perfect cutout for the speaker. Also looks like it has extra bumps here on the corners. Little bit of branding there on the side. Now, once you put the case on this phone, it's gonna weigh 286 grams. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's gonna work with this wireless charger. I feel like this might be too big. Okay, so it works with this smaller wireless charger. So it looks like it just depends on how big the wireless charger is you have. You probably wanna go with a smaller one if you have this case. So overall, really nice case here by ESR. Now, if you want something a little more rugged, but not too big and bulky, I really like what Poetic is doing with their neon case. It actually comes in a lot of different colors: sky blue, purple, orange, mint, military green, light pink, navy blue, and the one shown here is black. Silicone material on the inside, also has military drop protection. It's got a hard plastic shell there on the back. You've got an orange accent going around the outside. Kind of reminds me of what you see with OtterBox, but you get a lot more options with this one. Pretty simple to just snap into place. Now, depending on what color of phone you have, could determine which color case you get. I feel like this one looks pretty good with black. Also, I like these little bumpers that kind of stick out. Gives you extra grip right where you're holding the phone. I like how they separated the volume buttons on this one. Really nice and clicky on the power and volume buttons. They feel like they stick out plenty as well. The thing I like about this one, it actually has side protection for the screen. You normally don't see that too often when it comes to curved screens like this. Nice lip protection on the top and bottom as well. Really nice and large cutout for the charging port. Makes it super easy to get that in and out. So if you're looking for a somewhat rugged case, still feels pretty lightweight though. Weighs in at 294 grams with the case on. So it is gonna add a little bit of weight to it, but the grip on it feels really good and just really nice build quality overall. And it looks like it's gonna charge whether you have a small wireless charger or larger one. Now the Skyfall clear case by Caseology, this one's actually much nicer in person than I thought it would be. Comes in two different colors, lilac purple, and the one shown here is matte black. Really nice design around the cameras. I don't know if you can see the texture on there. This one's a really nice and rigid case. Hard plastic on the back. Doesn't take much effort to put the case on. Has some nice texture there on the edges right where you're holding the phone, so it never feels like it's gonna slip out of your hands. I don't know about you, but I really like the design for the cameras on the back, and it's nice on the back. You can actually see the color of your phone. A little bit of branding down there at the bottom. Also has just a little bit of a lip there on the sides where the curved screen is. A little bit of extra lip on the top and bottom. I really like the clickiness of these buttons. They also appear to stick out just enough, so they're easy to locate. Nice and oversized cutout for the charging port and S Pen. The only improvement I could see on this case is maybe make the buttons a little bit more textured, sort of like this down here. Other than that, really nice case here. Definitely one of the lighter cases out there. Only 274 grams with the case installed. And then of course, because this is a thin case, it's gonna work with pretty much any wireless charger. I always like it when case companies do something a little bit different than what they've done in the past, and that's kind of why I picked the Ultra Hybrid 01 case by Spigen. They do have other colors that are just clear on the back, but this one just looks a little more unique, sort of like if you would take the phone apart and see what's on the inside. It's a softer TPU material, smoked gray around the edges, super rigid with this one. Hard plastic shell on the back. I also like that they made it like a matte finish on the back, only in certain areas. This one's really simple to install. First thing I noticed right away, they actually put some texture here on the power button. Not sure why other companies don't do that. The rest of the sides are actually nice and grippy. Spigen always does a really nice job with the buttons as far as how clicky they are. Nice thing is, depending on what color phone you got, you are gonna see that through part of the case on the back. Probably hard to see in the video, but just a skosh above the curved edge there on the side. Plenty of lip on the top and bottom. And then extra large cutout for the charging port. Really nice and large for the S Pen as well. Probably the lightest case so far, 272 grams with the case installed. Super thin case, you don't have to worry about wireless charging. The only way you'd make it a little bit better is if you add a little bit of texture down here towards the bottom. Other than that though, really nice grip. The only thing I might do slightly different is maybe open up a little bit of the design here, just so I can see the color of my phone a little bit more. Overall though, really nice job here on the 01 case by Spigen. Now, if you're looking for just a plain clear case that doesn't really have anything extra just to protect your phone and you can still see the back, this one is a hard plastic shell by ESR called the Crystek Clear Case. Somewhat similar to the official case from Samsung, but I feel like this one's actually better. Super rigid design. Really nice and simple to put the case on, and then you can actually take it out, unlike the official case from Samsung. That one's way too hard to get off. It says camera guard real small in case you're wondering what that text is. Definitely going to be one of the better clear cases out there in my opinion. They're also saying this is anti-yellowing. Also has a little bit of branding there on the side. The buttons on here, you barely have to push them to get them to work. And they stick out plenty so they're easy to locate. Nice and large cutouts for the charging port and S Pen as well. Here on the sides, might be just a tad above where the curved screen is. Really large lip at the top and bottom, so you're not gonna have to worry about getting the screen all scratched up. You can sort of see how thick the case is there around the cameras as well. The phone itself weighs 240 grams. Looks like it weighs in at 276 grams with the case on. The grip on this isn't too bad. I kind of wish they'd put a little texture here on the sides. That's really my only suggestion for this case. Other than that, just a really nice clear case by ESR. Now, probably one of my favorite cases from Caseology is gonna be the nanopop. This one comes in 3 different colors: blueberry navy, black sesame, and the one shown here is avo green. I really like how they do the accent color here on the back with the cutouts for each lens. Just a really nice design in my opinion. This case is also pretty rigid, doesn't really flex much. Also pretty easy to get on the phone and then be able to take it back off. Now overall, this case is fairly smooth here on the back, but the nice thing is over on the edges where you're holding the phone, it's got a bunch of little bumps, almost feels like sandpaper. So when you're gripping it right there, pretty much zero chance of it slipping out of your hand. The power and volume buttons are covered by that TPU material. I feel like they stick out plenty there on the side. I sort of feel like they could have just put like a little line down the center like they do on some of their other cases, or maybe something just to add a little texture to the button, but overall not bad. Good thing is this one actually has a lip going all the way around the edges, even slightly above the curved sides there. Nice oversized cutout for the charging port, easy to get the S Pen in and out as well. So really, if I just had one suggestion, maybe make this on the back just a little bit grippier, sort of like the Spigen Thin Fit. And then of course, it's gonna work with wireless charging as well. It is gonna add a little weight to the phone, weighs in at 288 grams with the case installed. I'm not sure if they could, but it would be really nice if they could make the case just a little bit lighter. Now, if you like the nanopop series by Caseology, chances are you're gonna like the aflac series as well. You don't get as many colors with this, but it's super grippy all over the case. It's also military grade, drop tested. Pretty much an all black case. The inside is a light gray that also shows through on the back where the cameras are. Also has what looks like a little card slot. I feel like that's just for looks though. Really simple to get this case on. This one also has just enough protection here on the sides, around the screen. You're not gonna have to worry about this one getting all scratched up. I'm really liking the accent color around the cameras on the back. Plus the horizontal lines on the back is a nice touch as well. But I feel like most people are gonna want this case if you want something a little more rugged or just a case that has really good grip. As you can see, nice cutouts on the bottom. Even the power and volume buttons have that grippy material on them. Probably some of the easiest buttons to use on a case. Definitely one of the heavier cases, weighs in at 298 grams with the case on. Good thing is it looks like it works with wireless charging, so that's always good to see as well. So I would say if you like the nanopop case, but you want a little better grip, this one's definitely not a bad option. Another case that's sort of unique compared to some of the others is this one here by Simtech. It actually has a camera cover that just slides over. So obviously you're gonna have nice protection there for the cameras. Comes in 3 different colors, green, clear, and the one shown here is black. Pretty good idea considering you've got so many cameras there on the back now. This one is really nice and rigid. Kind of a hard plastic shell there on the back. Softer TPU material on the edges. Then the whole thing is like a matte black finish to it. Really easy to put this case on. Also has nice texture here on the buttons. They seem to work really nice. You barely have to push on the buttons to get them to work. Also appears to have just enough lip there on the sides of the screen. Extra lip on the top and bottom. So good overall screen protection. Sort of an interesting look there on the back where the cameras are. Snaps right into place when it's all the way closed. And you've got a nice large rim here around where the cameras are. So as the phone's laying down, you don't have to worry about it rocking around. Pretty large cutouts here on the bottom. Easy to get the S Pen in and out. 284 grams once you put the case on. Also works with wireless charging. I gotta say, this is a pretty nice looking case here by Simtech. Now the Ultra Color case by Cyrill comes in 2 different colors, and then you can get some that have text on the back. This one here is just the plain dust color. Pretty flexible TPU material. Most of it has a matte feeling to it. Except on the sides where you're holding it, it's really nice and grippy, sort of a smooth, high gloss area. You can see the power and volume buttons have more of the rougher or matte texture to it. Seem to stick out plenty on the side there. The buttons are pretty nice and clicky, fairly easy to use. You've got just enough lip there on the sides to help protect the screen. So depending on what color of phone you have, you can see a little bit of the color shows through there around the cameras. Actually doesn't look too bad as far as the design goes. Just minimal branding on here. Really nice and large cutout for the charging port, and the S Pen is easy to get in and out as well. Of course, it's pretty thin, so it's gonna work with just about any wireless charger. And yeah, this is one of the lightest cases, only weighs in at 272 grams once you put it on the phone. Now, if you want something that's a little more heavy duty or maybe slightly more rugged, the Shock Armor Kickstand case by ESR is a 2-part rugged case. This one has military grade protection. You've got a harder plastic shell here on the back. Pretty rigid, barely flexes, and then a plastic piece that goes around the screen. Pretty simple process here to snap the plastic frame onto the front. Then you should be able to work your way around the edges till it snaps in all the way. The buttons on this one actually stick out quite a ways. I like how they separate the volume buttons, and it's a softer TPU material, so they're really easy to use. Also has a nice lip going around the edges, even on the sides where the screen is curved. So even though it doesn't have the built-in screen protector, it actually seems to protect it pretty good if you're going to be laying this face down. Nice that you can see the color of your phone here on the back. Pretty simple design, just having the black trim around the edges. And as you can see, it's got the camera guard kickstand there. Super rigid at just about any angle. You can use it in landscape or portrait mode as well, in the stand position. Oversized cutout there for the S Pen. You also have a flap there on the charging port. This is definitely going to be one of the heavier cases out there. Weighs in at 302 grams with the case installed. Good thing is, it is going to work with wireless charging. Now if you want a clear case that has a kickstand, this one's called the Air Shield Boost by ESR. Actually feels like really nice quality. They also have the same exact case in black. This one's really nice and rigid, hard plastic shell on the back. Softer and pretty grippy here around the edges. This one's a pretty slim case, so it doesn't take much to get onto your phone. The big thing about this case is going to be that kickstand down there at the bottom. Feels like a metal material, and it looks like you've got several different angles you could use here. Feels like nice and sturdy construction. Really nice options as far as standing this one up. Just a really nice clean design on the back here. Gets nice and tight around the cameras. Now, as far as this color of phone, you don't really see a lot of fingerprints. That could probably be different if you have a darker phone. You've got a little bit of branding there on the side. Power and volume buttons actually stick out really nice on this one. They do feel a little bit on the spongy side. Not bad though. To me, it doesn't look like it's going to protect the screen on the sides too much, but I know some people prefer that, so it's a little easier to use the phone with the case on. 42 grams for the case itself, 280 grams once it's installed on the phone. And then of course it's going to work with wireless charging. As long as you keep it above the kickstand, you should be fine. Now if you want a rugged case, Poetic actually has several to choose from. This one here is the Guardian case. Comes in a lot of different colors: purple, pink, orange, green, blue, and the one shown here is black. You've also got the option of no screen protector or one that's built in. I know sometimes in the past with this kind of case, it's a little tricky to get apart from each other, but I feel like they may have made the TPU material a little bit softer than usual. That's definitely good to see. Okay, it goes on simple enough. Actually feels pretty decent here on the edges as far as grip goes too. It looks like the power and volume buttons stick out just enough. Looks like the fingerprint scanner works pretty good on here as well. Really nice and clicky on the buttons. I don't think there's much you could do to improve on those. Of course, good screen protection on this one. Nice large cutout there for the S Pen, so that's easy to get in and out. You've also got a flap that goes over the charging port. You've also got a nice lip going around the cameras on the back. Just a little bit of branding there on the back. Pretty nice look on the back here though. I like that you can see the color of your phone. Case itself weighs about 58 grams. Definitely one of the heavier cases out there at 300 grams with the case on. And it's also going to work with wireless charging. Now the question is, can I get the case back off without using a tool? Okay, not too bad here. Now, if you just want a thin, flexible TPU clear case, this one by Simtech is actually a pretty good option. They've got 3 different colors: green, burgundy, and the one shown here is clear. They're also advertising never yellowing with this case. This one appears to have decent grip on it. Buttons seem to work pretty good on here as well. Not super clicky or anything. I feel like they stick out just enough so you can find where they're located. And if you're wanting a case that's not going to cover up the design of the phone, you're not going to get much better than this one in my opinion, unless you just take the case off. Now this one's pretty close to being flush on the edges. There might be just a sliver of screen protection there on the sides where the screen is curved. Plenty on the top and bottom. Nice cutouts on the bottom for the S Pen, oversized cutout for the charging port. Also has a nice lip going around the cameras on the back. Overall, just a nice looking clear case. The case itself, only 32 grams. This is definitely one of the lightest cases out there. Only 272 grams with it installed on the phone. And then of course, no issues with wireless charging on this one. Now, one of the most rugged cases out there for the S23 Ultra is going to be the Spartan case by Poetic. To me, it's very similar to their Revolution series, but with a little bit different style. You've actually got some pretty nice colors on this one. Midnight blue, metallic orange, metallic green, matte black, and the one shown here is metallic gunmetal. You also have the option of with a screen protector or without. Okay, looks like it goes on there pretty easily. First thing I noticed, it doesn't look like the fingerprint scanner works with this one. Okay, so it looks like if you go in, add another fingerprint after the screen protector's on, it looks like it's gonna work just fine. It looks like the screen works just fine with this protector on here as well. Obviously, it's gonna feel a little bit different, but it seems to work pretty good. You've got a little bit of texture there going along the edges. Volume and power buttons stick out just enough so you can find where they're located. They actually work really good, probably one of the easiest to use. Nice and clicky as well. And obviously you get really good screen protection on here. Large cutout for the S Pen and a flap for the charging port as well for extra protection. Overall, pretty nice design here on the back, really nice protection around the cameras. You can sort of see how thick the case is. And then don't forget you have a built-in kickstand here as well. So you could put it laying down or standing up. This might be the heaviest case that I've tested, 320 grams with it installed on the phone. Looks like it works with wireless charging though, so that's good to see. The only thing I don't like about the built-in screen protector is see how it looks when the screen is off. To me, that's really the only part that I think needs improved. Not that you actually see that when the screen is on, but it does look a little strange with it off like that. Feels like the sides are plenty soft enough. I feel like these are much easier to take off than some of the older models that I've tested, especially considering you don't have to use a tool now. Now, just like the Spartan case, the Revolution series is going to be one of the most rugged or heavy-duty cases out there. Also has military-grade drop protection. Comes in navy blue, maroon red, light pink, light blue, brown, and the one shown here is black. You've also got the option of with a screen protector or without. Also has a spot here for the fingerprint scanner. Now, if you have an issue with the fingerprint scanner, I always like to add another fingerprint, even if it's the same one, after putting a case on like this. Usually that helps quite a bit. And then of course, you're gonna get really good screen protection with this case. Really nice power and volume buttons, although I feel like they could stick out just a hair more. Still pretty easy to locate. And the buttons are nice and clicky on here as well. Having the built-in screen protector, it definitely makes the screen feel a little bit different, kind of a little bit more grippy, if that makes sense. But it seems to work pretty good. And then just like the Spartan case, nice cutout for the S Pen and has a flap on the charging port as well. Pretty nice and simple design, especially with this black version. And you can see how thick the case is going around the cameras. Plus you have the built-in kickstand here right in the middle. You can use it in vertical or landscape mode. And it looks like the same thing as with the Spartan case. It kind of looks strange how the screen protector sticks to the screen in some places, but not in others. You don't really notice it when using the phone, only when the screen's off. Surprisingly, it even works with wireless charging. Wasn't really sure on this one considering it's so thick. And yeah, one of the heaviest cases out there. Makes the phone weigh 322 grams once installed. To me, it feels a little easier if you get where the S Pen is first, and then the rest comes off fairly easily. Definitely much easier than what these used to be in the past, where you'd have to use a tool to get these apart. In my opinion, I would go one step further and make this even softer, closer to a silicone material. I went ahead and got the NeoFlex Spigen screen protector. Comes with 2 different protectors included. They also recommend that you redo your fingerprint once you install this. You've also got a dust removal sticker, lens cleaning cloth, and a cardboard squeegee as well. But it looks like they even include cleaning solution. Don't forget to use the little dust removal tool. They recommend putting a case on here to help you guide it. I feel like I've done enough of these that I don't really need that. Now to start off with, they recommend spraying down your hands with the solution. Then just go ahead, spray this down as well. First thing I would do is line up where the camera hole is. And then as long as you're straight along the top, the rest should kind of line up. If it starts to bubble, maybe just peel it back a little bit. And yeah, this actually looks really good. Once you get all the bubbles worked out, then you should be able to just clean it off. To me, I kind of like this one better than the official screen protector from Samsung. This one also feels like it's pretty easy to get the bubbles out. Really, the only thing I notice is just a hair short there along the bottom, but I don't know, maybe I just put it a hair too high. Overall, looks really nice. Only in the perfect lighting can you see where I may have an imperfection or two. It also appears to work pretty good with the S Pen, so that's good to see as well. And the fingerprint scanner works really good on here as well. I don't think I would have to rescan it. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.